Welcome to another AriasWave market update. Okay, so in my previous video that I just posted not too long ago on TradingView, I talked about SNX and what has happened since my previous update, which was a week ago, because I was banned a week ago for mentioning AriasWave. So even though that's the name of my channel, fair enough. Can't put any websites on your description, to just be aware. Do not tell people who you are or what you do. So here we're going to cover a bit of what I covered in my video that I posted to YouTube. And I am allowed to say YouTube, right? Because you're allowed, you can post your TradingView videos to YouTube. Okay. So it's not a secret. All right. So during my ban, I did post a couple of videos to YouTube from TradingView, and you can do that, by the way, in case you decide to make a video. So I did post two videos, and I mentioned a lot about what's going on in the NASDAQ, right? I covered that quite a bit, and just to give a recap in case you didn't see those videos, the move since so the latest analysis is that this move since 2009 GFC is a 5-wave move and it's not complete yet. Okay, so the count is 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so the one thing I mentioned in that video is if waves 1 and 3 are similar in length, then wave 5 will be short and sharp. However, because of the expanded correction, it was really hard to tell wave 5, where it ended, where it began. So I went back and I just did a whole bunch of analysis to get things up to speed, which is what's happened since I've been covering those 4 cryptos, and it gave me ideas as to what could be happening. I suggest you check those videos out because they really give you an indication of what's going on. And the main um, thing that I believe is happening is that we are yet to see the final high. Okay, so wave 5 is still incoming. Okay, so I don't think that we've seen the end of it yet. Okay, even though it's gone for so long, I do believe a couple of things. One is that we are going to have a crash, and two, that the Fed tends to raise interest rates all the way up into the final high. Okay, this has known to be happened before. It's happened many times. It even happened during the GFC, right before it, right? So at the moment, obviously, it's far worse because what's going to happen as a result of the raising, which I don't believe is going to stop, it cannot be allowed to stop. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. I've been calling this for ages now. And just to remind you, let's go back to the TNX chart, which is the 10-year bond yield. Okay, I'm going to show you something really cool in this chart, right? So for starters, I don't use log when I'm analyzing this chart, right? So if you understand AriasWave, I suppose, then you'll understand that in every correction you get A, B, C, D, E, right? So within the larger long-term pattern, this move down to 2020 was a D wave, a wave D. Okay, so it's explained right here on this chart how I came to that conclusion. The final 5 waves down since 99 was a type 1 weak 5-wave move, right? And then now recently we've broken that channel. Okay, and that's why we're getting a pullback to retest that channel break. That's basically the only thing I believe is happening right now. I don't think that we're going to continue lower with rates, right? Because the 10-year bond yield is ahead of the Fed when it comes to rates. Okay, so whether you believe that that's the other way around, well, do your research. So as you can see on this chart, I've drawn up the lines of the 2 and the 4 and the 1 and the 3. Okay, wave 5 never quite made it to the bottom of that channel, but I believe that it's still an accurate channel. Okay, so let me go down to the daily. I want to show you something cool. I've just noticed this, in recent days. If you click the log scale on, you can actually see some interesting price action going on with the channel, which is still the same channel. I haven't done anything to it, but changing the logs to log scale, you can actually see how price action has interacted with this channel. Since the beginning, even the midpoints, right? You can see how it's respected it all the way through, right? Even when you change the scale, see here, see what happened here, right? Here, here, here. The whole thing is just awesome to look at. Just you could see so many different interesting things going on. But right now, this is what I'd call a V-shaped recovery. Okay, a V-shaped recovery in interest rates. Now that's not nice. That's not good. Okay. What does that mean in terms of what comes next? Well, apparently, now that it's August, what's going to happen next month? Probably the same thing. What can happen from now until then? Potentially a retest. Could it be a retest? Is this a full 5-wave move, or is this part of a correction? Okay, so I believe that this move here is an E wave, and then we're going to get a mega bounce. Okay, so if that's the case, then that explains why we're going to see one more high in the markets and then a big crash, right? Now, I explained this in my previous video, but I'm not going to get into that now. The other thing I want to talk about, well, apart from the other markets, so the NASDAQ, like I've mentioned before, the waves are funky, right? I could be seeing them wrong, or I could be seeing them right, or I could be seeing them in a different light. We could be creating a different wave 4 pattern, but with the SPX, right, which has the wrong analysis on it still, right, because I saved it on the wrong chart. Fantastic. Anyway, the point is that in the correction portion of this wave 4, we have 3, 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay, we're still waiting to break that, which will probably happen this week, right? So the pattern is the same. Now, if you go to Bitcoin, right, I've drawn it out here, the same pattern since the highs, and the wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't go any lower really, because you'd break the rule of going into price action of wave 1 and 2. But I have mentioned in my previous video on YouTube that we need to see a similar length of wave 1, which is up to about 76,000, give or take. So another high before we start to see the real move down. And that's the one that's going to be problematic, in my opinion. So how problematic it will be depends on a couple of things, which I'll cover in another video. where I'm going to dedicate it to basically the top two cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it actually makes total sense when you view it from this standpoint, but not enough time here. I do believe that Bitcoin is in the process of moving higher in a 1-2-1-2 pattern as well. So we're just waiting for the pullback to be complete. I believe it will happen soon. I'll go into more detail in that video when I put it out. Anything else I could cover now? I could, but it'd just go too long. This is the main thing for me right now, is to move a bit higher because it's going to confirm. I believe gold will also make another high, all-time high. When it comes to the euro, well, this means that we're going to see lower prices in the euro, but the correction seems to be that it will hang around this area. So at this point in time, it's too early to say because, yeah, it has to perform a correction of some sort before it moves lower. So because we just hit that low, we don't have much to say there. But we do see the dollar falling and moving lower. So to me, it's going to retest either that breakout. Sorry, let me just get the daily chart. It's going to retest a breakout of the beginning of E-wave, but at the same time, it could also come back and retrace 50%, right? It could retest 50% or up to 0.618, up to 62% or 61% to the downside. It's definitely moved really fast above the moving averages. So I think it needs to revert to the mean a little first to correct, because it's definitely overbought. So that's going to give room for markets to move higher. But at the same time, it's going to prepare for wave 3, which is coming next. And that's the one that's going to probably kill the markets after we hit that high. So this is probably going to be interesting to track, because you can't have a 5-wave move, even if it is a type 1, without no correction. Okay, so that one we'll be keeping on top of, because it's pretty important also. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.